You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ronnie Faison, the proud principal at St. Francis de Sales High School.
And I'm Melissa Link from the Archdiocese of Chicago Office of Catholic Schools. And we'd like to welcome you to this edition of Catholic Schools Today. We're broadcasting live on WNDZ Radio, 750 AM, and we're also streaming to our Facebook community and also on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. Good morning, Ronnie.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. We get to see each other after another month, which is great.
I know. I look forward to these like every 3 weeks because then I get to come and hang out with you guys. It's been good.
I hear you have a big purchase that you made this weekend.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So we grew up in a little place called Woodhaven Lakes. It's about 2 hours away from Chicago. And so I bought myself a little cabin over the weekend. And so we went over, cleaned it up, and it's going to be a place where we make more memories. I have 2 little nephews, so I'm excited about that stuff.
That is really exciting.
How was your weekend?
Good. I don't think I had a chance to retreat like you did, which is so important, but it's good to have a couple of days away.
Good stuff. I'm super excited. Well, this morning we're pleased to welcome guests from Our Lady of Charity to discuss the blessing of a student mural at the school in Cicero. In the second part of our show, we're pleased to share in the celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. We will welcome guests to discuss events and activities happening in schools around the Archdiocese.
Before we speak to our guest, we'd like to welcome Greg Richmond to the show. Last month, Greg joined us on the show to discuss his goals and vision as the new leader for Catholic schools in the Archdiocese of Chicago. Today, Greg is almost a month into his new role as superintendent. Congratulations, Greg, and thank you for the leadership that you're providing for our office and for our schools. We're really grateful that you're with us. So this morning, we'd love to hear an update from you about Catholic schools in the Archdiocese as we begin the 2021 to 2022 academic year. So first of all, Ronnie and I,
Melissa.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ronnie.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me this morning. Good to see you again, even virtually. I'm very interested in learning more about that cabin you're just describing, Ronnie, so maybe on the next episode. The school year is off to a good start. Kids are back in person this year, just like we were last year. And of course, we're all dealing with the pandemic. That's been hard on people. We have to be honest about that. But overall, our enrollment numbers are up about 6.5% from where they were last year. That's about 3,000 students, and we actually expect that to go up a little bit more as we get some more data. So that's good news that our enrollment figures are going up. And in fact, if there are parents out there who are still trying to decide, what's the right school for my child this year, I'd invite you to consider a Catholic school. Many of our schools still have space in them, and we think they're great environments for kids academically, socially, emotionally, spiritually. You can go to our website at the Archdiocese of Chicago. We have a great school locator feature on that website where you can find schools that are near you and then check out what kinds of programs they offer. But the school year's off, I think, to a good start. More kids, lots of energy, and of course, we're all dealing with the pandemic, not just in schools, but in all aspects of our life. And that's something that makes things hard on everybody. And we can talk a little bit more about that. I'm sure we will, not just in this episode, but throughout the year as we all struggle to figure out how to best manage how the pandemic affects our lives.
Yeah, it's true that the pandemic has really affected our schools, it's affected our families, it's affected all of us as educators. But I think you make a really excellent point that our Catholic schools are welcoming. We are really open to inviting all of our families and all of our students to be a part of our communities. And we really are an open arms community to really invite anybody looking for an inclusive community, a community that is based on faith and gospel values, a community that is excellent in our academics, to join us and to be a part of who we are as a Catholic school community.
And I think, too, as I think about things, our message last year at our school was come home, right? Come home to your family, come home to the things that make sense to you, come home. And so I think that's, having gone to a Catholic elementary, high school, and then a Catholic university, I think for me, it was home, right? Mm-hmm. It was that structure that continued to help me and build. So when you talk about those things, I think those are so things that are just so important to us. Is there anything that you'd like our teachers, our family, our community to know as we continue to kind of push forward in this new academic school year?
Well, I think first, what I'd like the teachers and principals and staff to know is how much they are appreciated, how much their hard work is appreciated, certainly by me as the superintendent, but everyone in our office, but most importantly, how much it's appreciated by our families and our students. I've had a number of principals say to me that this has been the hardest beginning of a new school year in their career, because of everything going on. So first and foremost to our educators and staff in our schools, I just want to say thank you and how much you're appreciated for your hard work. To our families, I also just want to say thank you to them for entrusting their children to Catholic schools this school year. We were just talking about, Ronnie, I love your example of come home. I think in so many of our schools and those with parishes, it really is a community that people experience. A community, among the students, a community among the parents, a community of all the families involved in the school. So that presence of community in our schools and our parishes really provides a strong upbringing for the children in our schools. It's really hard to find. Unfortunately, it's hard to find that in so many aspects of our society today. I think a lot of other aspects of our society, there's a lot of division. And I think what we find in our Catholic schools are people coming together and supporting each other. And that's really my big message for all of us for this school year, is to just continue to be kind, continue to listen to each other, extend grace to others. We're all struggling to figure out how to best manage this. And there's a million different sources of information out there, and people are all getting information from different places, reaching different conclusions through that information. That's human. That's going to happen. But we can all still listen and respect and support each other, even if we have differences of opinion, especially if we have differences of opinion, right? I mean, it's easy to get along with people who agree with you, but when maybe there's a disagreement and somebody's interpreting things differently than you, let's still extend some grace to each other and support each other and be that community we were just talking about.
And Superintendent Richmond, I just have to commend you. I saw that you were all over the city kind of at these welcome back, celebrations at each of our schools. And I love that I saw you on the southeast side on 79th and Sangamon at Leo High School. I mean, just to see you there in that space was something really special. And I think we're just so grateful that that you're spending time in our schools and you're taking a look to see what's going on. And I think that's really special. So just wanted to take a minute to commend you as well.
Oh, well, thank you. Visiting Leo High School on its first day of school is not much of a sacrifice. I mean, it's such an amazing school. The energy, for those that don't know, the alumni of Leo come the first day and line the sidewalk up to the front doors of the school and greet the students as they're walking in, and give high fives and fist bumps. That was fun to watch as the alumni are doing that, and the boys are coming in, and some of them are high-fiving, they're excited, and some of the other, like maybe the younger ones, the freshmen, were trying to figure out what is going on here, and almost like they tried to sneak by. The guys were not allowed to sneak by. Everyone had to do high fives. So Leo was fantastic. Mr. Rawls there, phenomenal. It's a combination of support, but high expectations that we want to see, that you do see in our Catholic schools, support and high expectations. And then I also visited St. Richard Elementary School earlier this month near Midway Airport. Great school. They had a really exciting dual language pre-K program, which I think a lot of folks would be interested in. We have 10 of those now in the Archdiocese, elementary schools that are offering dual language programs to kids, sometimes Spanish, sometimes Polish. So we got to visit that classroom and see some of the other classrooms. Always a joy to spend time in schools and in classrooms and see the wonderful programs that we have in our Catholic schools.
Absolutely. It sounds truly inspiring, Greg. And I am jealous a little bit that you had such a wonderful opportunity to start the school year at some of our fine communities and institutions. So thank you. I echo Ronnie's words and just a lot of gratitude, and thanking you for being part of our office, for leading us, for guiding us as we start this new school year, and for just really accompanying all of us as we build community, as you said, and learn together and celebrate with one another. We're going to pause now. Thanks for being with us, Greg, but stay with us. There's more Catholic Schools Today coming your way.
Have an old bicycle that's not being used? Consider donating it to Catholic Charities Veterans Bike Project of Lake County. Skilled volunteers are refurbishing bicycles to make them safe and ready to be used by veterans to get to and from their new places of work. We also gratefully accept financial contributions that are used to purchase bike helmets and other safety accessories. Our veterans have faithfully served the United States, and now it is our privilege to serve them. For more information on the Veterans Bike Project of Lake County, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
Welcome back, everyone, to Catholic Schools Today. I'm Ronnie Faison, the proud principal at St. Francis de Sales High School.
And I'm Melissa Link from the Archdiocese of Chicago, Office of Catholic Schools. We're broadcasting live on WNDZ Radio, 750 AM, as well as streaming on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. Auxiliary Bishop Mark Bartosik of the Archdiocese of Chicago and Reverend Sergio Mena, pastor at Our Lady of Charity School and Parish, blessed a mural painted by student artists at Our Lady of Charity School on Wednesday, September 8, 2021. Over the summer, 6 middle school students and the National Museum of Mexican Art artist M. Zayuri Pacheco painted the mural inside one of the school's hallways of Holy People of God, including Blessed Carlo Acutis, St. Maria Goretti, St. Jose Sanchez del Rio, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, St. Kateri Tekakwitha, and Venerable Father Augustus Tolton. I think I got all those names right. Blessed Carlo Acutis and Venerable Father Tolton are currently in the canonization process. This morning, we'd like to welcome to the show Dr. Frank Zarate, principal at Our Lady of Charity School, and artist M. Zayuri Pacheco from the National Museum of Mexican Art. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining us today. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Frank. We can see you, but we can't hear you. It's really nice to see you. Frank and I have worked on a number of projects together.
Right.
There, I think we can hear you now, Frank.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, fantastic. Good morning.
Very good. Good morning. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. We're curious to know about this mural a little bit more and curious to know what inspired you and the students to work with the Mexican Museum of Art to build such a fantastic centerpiece for your school community.
Sure, thank you. We've worked with them before. We worked with them in 2013 when they came here at that time to paint a mural for us in the south stairwell. So we decided this year to bring them back to work with our summer school students, and what ultimately was decided was for them to work with the students to paint a second mural in our north stairwell.
Super interesting. And how were the specific role models chosen to be included in the mural?
That was a process. Our pastor, Father Mena, was looking for a mural that would depict saints to inspire the children, particularly or especially young saints with whom it was felt the children here would be better able to identify with. Quite a few names of potential candidates for the mural were discussed, and ultimately we decided on the 6 who were chosen based on their youth, because we were looking for young saints, but also based on, we wanted a broad representation, a diverse representation of society. So I think we achieved that with the six individuals who were ultimately chosen.
You most certainly did. I think that's so special. And I think, as a Catholic school principal, your goal always is to allow your kids to see themselves in ways that they normally wouldn't. And so you including these pieces of art is so special because they get to see themselves in places, right? We can be those things. We can live up to that standard. So I think that's super special.
Absolutely. I think it's the first time I know I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it on the screen in front of me.
Beautiful.
And it's really striking and really a beautiful picture, a really beautiful mural. We're wondering, too, what kind of relationships were forged? I know, Frank, you said that you worked with the Mexican Museum of Art before, but what relationships might have been forged through this particular partnership, and are there ways that you foresee working with the museum going forward?
The museum is a wonderful resource for all the schools in the diocese. We're quickly about to enter Hispanic Heritage Month, and I've been there many times with field trips. They open up their doors to all schools for field trips. They have a wonderful exhibit annually for Day of the Dead. They're known for that. Last year with COVID, they were shut down, but now they have reopened. They're a great resource, not only for field trips to view the collection, but also for schools to work with if they're looking for artists to come to the schools. They have an an education department that will come to the schools and work with the children directly on art projects. So they're a great resource that we have here in the city.
Yeah, and I think as a Southside kid, once a year, my family would go for Dia de los Muertos, and it was such a special time to just be immersed in our culture and to know that there were so many before us that created these traditions for us to continue and for them to live on. And I think that's super special. So I never thought about reaching out to them to figure out how to get them into our schools more, but this is an opportunity for us to do that across, the Archdiocese, to figure out ways to incorporate that culture in all of our schools.
Absolutely. And the few times that I've been to the National Museum of Mexican Art, too, there's been music. And I know that's not part of like what we're talking about today, but it's really a wonderful experience to get to go to a museum and experience the visual art that's there, and then also experience music as well, which has been something that's been really great for me.
Sure, and they'll sponsor, they bring in authors for lectures and what have you. So there's lots of things going on there. And to the public, it's free, which is something else that's nice about it. For schools, there is a small fee for field trips, but for you or I to go there as individuals, it's free of charge. Our school here is about 99% Latino. So, we look to the museum to provide a cultural connection with the kids too. And, coming out of COVID, there's been a lot of talk statewide about the need to provide emotional support to kids who've been impacted by COVID in one way or another. So the mural addressed a cultural element for our children, and it through art therapy, so to speak, addressed an emotional piece as well.
Yeah. I think, Frank, you're touching on something really important, and we care deeply about the social, emotional health of our students, especially as we go into this really difficult year. Stick around with us. Frank's going to continue to join us after break, but we are going to pause right now for that brief break. Stay with us, though. There's more Catholic Schools Today coming your way.
Catholic Charities in Lake County provides a comprehensive range of social services supporting individuals, families, and older adults. These include crisis assistance, shelter, clothing, family support, counseling, legal assistance, primary health care, and specialized services for seniors and veterans. Grab-and-go meals and food pantries help those who are experiencing food insecurity. Plus, we have a diaper depot to support low-income families and their infants. If we can assist you or someone you know, please call Catholic Charities of Lake County at 847-782-4000. That's 847-782-4000.
Welcome back.
Es fabuloso verlos.
Dobrze jest znowu być razem.
It's good to be together again.
After so many months apart, pandemic capacity limits have been lifted, and we want to welcome everyone back to church. We can all pray together again. And listen,
as our choirs lift their voices in song.
We've been together in spirit.
And now, when you are ready, our doors are open wide.
Nuestras puertas están abiertas de par en par.
Nasze drzwi są otwarte.
And we're here to welcome you back to Catholic Mass.
Welcome back, everyone, to Catholic Schools Today. I'm Ronnie Faison, the proud principal at St. Francis de Sales High School.
And I'm Melissa Link from the Archdiocese of Chicago Office of Catholic Schools. We're broadcasting live on WNDZ Radio 750 AM, as well as streaming on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. Welcome back to Dr. Frank Zarate, and I think that we're joined by phone by M. Zairi Pacheco from the National Museum of Mexican Art. Welcome back to both of you. We were speaking with Frank before we went to break, and I see Frank joining with us again. Frank, before we went to break, you were speaking really, really powerfully about the social emotional learning experience of your students as they participated in the mural painting at your school. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the importance of that for your students, their social emotional health going into this school year, and how the mural, as you were describing it, really helped all of your students who participated to be a part of a community and something bigger than themselves.
Well, I think that most of us would acknowledge that art, the creation of art, can be therapeutic. And, again, we have a school in which the student population is majority Latin American. And this community was particularly impacted by COVID. And we had students who, many of whom had family members who were ill and even passed away. So, we used our coronavirus relief funding that we had available to offset the cost of the mural. And we were able to use that funding because of the idea that art, as I said, that art is therapeutic. We're just thrilled with the way the murals turned out, and with the museum, and particularly Ms. Pacheco's participation.
Absolutely. I'm wondering too, Frank, is there any plan to use the mural as sort of a centerpiece for prayer this year, or centering for community, or designing some sort of ritual or tradition that you can celebrate as a school community? Like, what are your plans for integrating the mural into the life of your community this year?
Well, I think that our pastor, Father Mena, is he's already referenced the mural in a recent homily that in our all-school mass, and I'm sure he'll continue to reference the saints and individuals portrayed in the mural in future talks with the children. We have another component of that is that our Catholic identity goal this year for our school improvement plan is centered around the children participating in a study of saints, being able by the end of the year to define what a saint is and identify various saints, including the 6 portrayed on the mural. So, we have that instructional piece planned as we move forward in the school year too.
In relation to your building, where is the mural?
Well, thank you. We have 2 stairwells in the building that the children use every day. We have the south stairwell that has the 2013 mural done by the National Museum. And now this new mural is in the north stairwell. That stairwell is used by the school, and it's also used by parishioners coming in for Sunday Mass.
So that's so special.
It has a lot of it'll get a lot of exposure.
And it's something that they'll see every single day as they enter into your space. And it's almost as a reminder every day of what they'll enter into your building. So what a beautiful placement of those pieces. What were the kids' reaction when they saw it, or as they continued through the process in creating the mural with the help of the artist?
They were excited. I mean, it's very impacting. It's large. It takes up 2 walls in that stairwell, kind of wraps around the stairwell. So it's a powerful image. They were talking about it. They couldn't help but talk about it on the first day of school because, it was right there. And the teachers too have planned to teach the kids about these 6 saints and 6 holy people as the year progresses. And because the kids were so excited about it, those lessons began right away with the start of the school year. The kids asking, who are these people? And the teachers wanting to talk about them too.
And just so I'm clear, did the kiddos have a hand in creating the mural, or was it just the artists themselves?
Is Maida with us? Is she on?
No, not yet.
No,
not
sorry.
yet. Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, yes, they did. The children's piece was primarily the mosaic that you see in the background, and the clouds that you see off to the right. As you're viewing the mural, there's a background of clouds, the sky, and also kind of a mosaic, almost like a stained glass background on the other wall. So the children's participation in the actual painting of the mural was pretty much confined to the background, but the background is significant. So yeah, they each took sections of the background to paint. They enjoyed it, and these were our summer school students, so they enjoyed it quite a bit. They even came back after summer school had ended to finish it because they were so excited and so into it, so to speak.
Absolutely. It's so good to hear about how students are invested in their school community, not just in each other, but in the actual infrastructure, and they see themselves as something, part of something bigger than themselves as individuals, that they can work together on something collaboratively, which is fantastic. Frank, are there any...
It definitely gives them some ownership of the school too, which I'm always looking to incorporate. So.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a mural that was there in 2013, and now there's this brand new one. It makes me wonder: do you have any plans to expand in years down the road to do another mural, perhaps?
Not right now. Not right now. But, because there was a lot of talk about when we agreed with the museum to design a mural. There was a lot of discussion about where it would be placed, and we settled on this location. So no, there are no future plans for another mural, although, it's a possibility. When we called the museum this summer, or in the spring, we had originally planned for them to come out and do a summer school art project with the kids. So we'd have an art component to our summer school program. But then as we continued to have this discussion, we settled on a mural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like something that really grew and expanded as you discerned it and talked about it with each other, which is fantastic. Frank, we're wondering if our listeners would like to know anything else about Our Lady of Charity School. How could they be in touch with you or learn more about the school community?
Oh, sure. Well, they can go on our website if they'd like to learn more about our school. The web address is olc-school.org, olc-school.org. My contact information is there if they'd like to call. And as far as the museum, ladies, the director of education there has been very, very helpful. Mr. Jaime Lopez is his name. Of course, I want to give another shout out to the teaching artist, Maida Pacheco, because she's very talented. She's very, very talented, and she came up with the whole concept of what this mural would look like, and she worked really well with the children here. So I'm very grateful to Ms. Pacheco as well as Mr. Lopez.
Great. Fantastic. I think now I want to make a pilgrimage out to Our Lady of Charity.
Well, maybe
School
that's the
and
next
see
one.
them.
Maybe that's the next episode. We just go over to check it out. We're going to take a pause real quick and come back for more Catholic Radio, so stay tuned.
Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, Catholic Charities has continued to respond to the needs of people who come to us for assistance. More than 850,000 meals and food parcels have been offered to those who are struggling with food insecurity. Over 108,000 homelessness prevention hotline calls have been answered. Over 22,000 people have received mental health services, and $2 million in financial assistance has been provided to keep people housed. If you or someone you know needs assistance, email us at gethelp@catholiccharities.net. That's gethelp@catholiccharities.net. Or call 312-655-7700. That's 312-655-7700. Before, during, and after COVID-19, Catholic Charities is here for you.
The cemetery ministry is a core ministry of our Catholic faith tied to the corporal works of mercy. It's comforting to know that our Catholic cemeteries are caring for the remains of our loved ones awaiting the resurrection. There are 44 Archdiocese of Chicago Catholic cemeteries willing to help you in your time of loss. Call 708-449-6100 or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org. Catholic Cemeteries, serving the Catholic community since 1837.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Welcome back, everyone, to Catholic Schools Today. I'm Ronnie Faison, the proud principal of St. Francis de Sales High School.
And I'm Melissa Link from the Archdiocese of Chicago Office of Catholic Schools. We're broadcasting live on WNDZ Radio 750 AM, as well as streaming on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago.
So, Melissa, I'm super excited. We're kicking off Hispanic Heritage Month, which is why I have my beautiful dress on. But this morning, we're pleased to have with us members of the Cultural Celebration Committee who will announce a theme and the start of Hispanic Heritage Month, which runs from mid-September through mid-October. We're excited to talk to our guest about the cultural significance of the celebration and what some schools are doing in observance. We're joined via live stream by Erica Gallardo, who serves as Hispanic Engagement and Outreach Manager in the Office of Catholic Schools. We're also joined by Maria Perez, who is the Director of Marketing and Youth Ministry at Our Lady of Snows Parish and School in Chicago. Welcome to you both. Good morning.
Good morning, Erica. Good it's great to see you.
Great to see you. Good to see you too.
Great. I know we wanted to talk a little bit about you and the work that you're doing to recognize Hispanic Heritage Month. What was that process like, and how did, creating a whole department dedicated to that work come about?
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. So our former academic of chiefs was working with me on trying to my role is Hispanic engagement and outreach, and finding a way that we could connect the work that I'm doing with our schools to celebrate and to recognize the diversity, across all of our schools, because the Archdiocese just doesn't encompass, the city of Chicago, right? It's the surrounding suburbs. So we were looking at how we could recognize all the cultural differences, because as you mentioned, Hispanic Heritage Month is kicking off in a couple of days, but Hispanic doesn't equate to Mexican, right? Hispanics are so diverse. We have Afro-Latinos, we have people from South and Central America. And we even, consider our brothers and sisters in Spain to be part of our culture, even though they're European. So we're a very diverse group. And so we wanted to highlight and to share that, because in our schools, we have one of our schools who's shared with us, there's 12 different nationalities of Hispanic culture just in her own community. So we know that there's a need for this to be elevated in a way, to celebrate what the schools are already doing at the local level. So just highlighting their hard work and coming together in a unified way.
I have the privilege of working with Erica every single day in the Office of Catholic Schools, and I can attest to firsthand her commitment, her dedication, and her expertise in really walking with our schools and accompanying them, especially in this month that we're going into, but also all throughout the year as we look to diversify our programming and really come to some better understandings about how we can love all of our kiddos and celebrate the cultural diversity that is so rich within our schools. Erica, this year the theme for our celebration is faith, family, and culture. So we're wondering how schools can use this theme in their programming as they look forward to celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month in their schools.
So this journey started, I guess, over last school year and into this school year. We started with this cultural competency committee, and we have a lot of principals and we have a lot of marketers throughout the Archdiocese working with us to develop the theme, which is Celebrando Fe, Familia y Cultura, just Spanish of what you just mentioned. And so we thought and brainstormed of ideas of what can schools do, right? And so already what we know is a lot of our schools are doing this, like St. Procopius in Pilsen. They have their conchas y canciones, which is the Mexican sweetbread, and then they play music. So all the children receive like individually packaged, bread, and they listen to music. And St. Pius also does something similar where they do a culture and a dance experience. So they'll have the school's music teacher playing music for the children. Children get to dance. And then all the schools invite the children to wear, either folkloric clothing, kind of similar to what, you're wearing, Ronnie, or just flags, or maybe even like soccer shirts that represent their native countries. So it's an opportunity for children. We know they don't leave their culture at the door. They don't take it off like they do their backpack, right? It's a part of who they are. So this is that opportunity for them to celebrate it, because culture totally impacts the way we communicate and interact with other people. So this is just, I guess, in a way, highlighting what a lot of our schools already do when they celebrate the whole child. Our schools are all about recognizing and seeing children. And so this is just a way to use this thing to kind of unify all those efforts into one voice, so that families and schools and communities can see what they're doing at the local level.
And I think it's so important what you said previously about, we talk about Hispanic Heritage Month, but it encompasses all cultures, right? I grew up in a household, my mom's Mexican and Puerto Rican, and so we never knew where one started and the other began, but they're two separate, so beautiful cultures that are so diverse and special. And you talked about Afro-Latino, that's how I identify, right? And so I think that's really important for the work that we do. But I think, to your point, we have to scream out how beautiful each one of those individual cultures are and allow our students to really engulf themselves. You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. And I think this is part of that. So to that point, how does this mission, right, coincide with the mission that we have for Catholic schools and our, need to bring kids together?
Yeah, so our theme this year is Strength for the Journey. And I think there's a lot of strength in the faith and culture traditions that unify all the cultures that are celebrated in our schools. And it's beyond just Hispanic. We're highlighting Hispanic because that's what we're celebrating, this coming month. But Polish communities, our Asian and our Chinese communities, and Filipino communities, they all have very unifying cultural rich traditions because they're all based on our faith of being Catholic. So I love that this is an opportunity to just show that strength in what really connects us all as Catholics. And so the schools are doing lots of beautiful work. Like St. Richard's last year, they did like an artist study. And so the children learned about every classroom in the school focused on one Hispanic artist. And then the children reproduced some of the artwork, and then it was posted throughout the hallways of the school. So as you can imagine, it was just a very beautiful experience to walk through the school. Our Lady of Charity, with Mr. Frank Sarate, who you spoke with earlier, he also had a very similar, project that was done in his school, where they're just highlighting. And like you said, we have to know the history to know, and kind of be very sound in our identity as people, right? So if we know where we come from, then we know who we are and we know where we want to go. And it just makes that journey a lot easier for us. So it's just a matter of, giving a space. We every day we are who we are, and we come with our traditions and our practices and our beliefs, but this is just that opportunity to highlight that strength of the Hispanic community in the coming month.
Absolutely. These are fantastic words of wisdom, Erica. And I'm really a strong supporter of recognizing that in our schools, we educate the whole child, but then we also send those children home to families. And so we want to include our students' families in the Catholic school experience. So I'm wondering if you have any thoughts for how families might celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month as we go into September and October, and have some ideas for how moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas can celebrate with their students as well.
Well, unfortunately, because, September 16th, which is Mexican Independence Day, happens in the middle of the week. This past weekend, there were so many celebrations of El Grito being celebrated around different communities. Summit had their own, El Grito. Little Village did their own version of El Grito. Unfortunately, because of COVID, the parade was canceled, which usually draws in over 400,000 people to this just one little stretch of the neighborhood where they do the Mexican Independence Day parade. But it's not just stopping at Mexican independence, because in the month of September, we have many countries that are celebrating their independence. And still some events that are going to be happening is, like, for example, the Fiestas Boricuas, which is happening, in Humboldt Park and Logan Square in that area. So that's still going on. They have their Raíces Gala, where they're celebrating, the National Puerto Rican Museum of Art is celebrating, prominent people in the community who have done a lot of work to help that community. So there's a lot of things that your family could be exposed to if you just do a little bit of work and search things online. But even the Museum of National Mexican Art, they have these wonderful little videos where they show you how to create artwork. And it's a little 3-5 minute YouTube video where the children and the parents can reenact together how to make, like, Day of the Dead is coming. So they'll have little artwork around papel picado to make the little banners for Day of the Dead. And there's just a lot of things out there, but even some things as simple that the school can work together with the families is interview a family member. Learn about their traditions and their, what their journey was like if they're coming from another country, what that immigration experience was about. So this is an opportunity to tie the school and the community together. And there's just lots of things, listening to music, together as a family, and then talking about that music and what parents experienced while they were growing up listening to certain music. I'm sure it brings back a lot of memories, and just those conversations, where aren't usually had on a normal basis. But if here's an opportunity, let's listen to music together, let's watch a movie together. PBS has a wonderful series on Hispanic culture and traditions, and just the whole history of, from when California and parts of Texas and south the United States used to be part of Mexico. That whole experience and journey of what people experience. Puerto Rico also has a rich culture with the Taíno, right. Natives of that area. So it's just a matter of opening up a space for that conversation just to learn more or explore together and find out more. The Mexican Museum of Art last year was doing virtual tours. So there's a lot of museums around the country that offer that opportunity as well. And so it's just a matter of like just digging a little, peeling back that first layer of the onion, and then just things will just come as you kind of search things online or talk to people in your community, visit a school and find out what they're doing, go to the library. There's a lot of things that are accessible, but I find it that if you show that interest, it just comes very easily.
I think that's great. You've given us a lot of different ways to look at it. We're going to pause now for a brief break, but stay with us. There's more Catholic Schools Radio coming your way.
A gently used laptop or desktop computer that is gathering dust in your home? Consider donating to our Catholic Charities Veterans Computer Project. We will clean out your device, give it new software, and repurpose it for a veteran who is looking for employment. Your gift will make an incredible difference in a veteran's ability to find a job. Catholic Charities provides veteran services throughout Lake and suburban Cook counties, giving participants an array of professional and personal support. Our veterans have served our country, and it is our privilege to serve them. To learn more about Catholic Charities Veterans Services and the Veterans Computer Project, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Ronnie Faison, and welcome back to Catholic Schools Today.
And I'm Melissa Link from the Archdiocese of Chicago Office of Catholic Schools. We're broadcasting live on WNDZ Radio 750 AM and streaming on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago.
Well, we're super excited to have our guest back. Miss Cookie, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
We sure can. Good morning.
Yes, thanks for being here.
Good morning. You guys looked really good on the camera.
Well, thank you. We'll take all the compliments we can get.
We're learning about Hispanic Heritage Month, so we're really glad that you can join us and tell us a little bit about your part at Our Lady of the Snows.
Well, I was, first of all, very excited that Erica invited me to this wonderful committee from the Archdiocese to collaborate. I feel we can all learn from one another to really bring to highlight the Hispanic culture, but I see it more as an inclusive culture of all cultures, and we're working really hard at Our Lady of the Snows to just meet the young people and the students, I should say, because I'm also a youth minister, so I tend to go back and forth where they're at with all their gifts and everything they bring, and really highlight that in the many ways that we can, either through art or music or wherever they're at. I think that's a very important part to begin with.
That's great. So as we look at this month in particular, what are some things that you guys are taking on this month to highlight Hispanic Heritage Month?
Well, I think, first of all, it's very important not only to highlight it and to let them know about their heritage and study it through history and everything else, but also be a teachable moment for all the teachers and everyone out there, I think you don't have to be Hispanic to embrace it. I think it's important that we're open to all cultures, and right now especially Hispanics because it's the Heritage Month, we're celebrating it. But I think it's important that no matter what culture you come from, we're all Hispanics during September, just like we're all Irish during St. Patrick's Day. So I always tend to go back and forth on it. But it's a teachable moment for everyone, regardless if you are Hispanic or not. So that's one of the things that I think the beauty of Our Lady of the Snows really embraces it. And no matter what culture you are, it's brought through, it's on the table, it's in the atmosphere, it's there for everyone to embrace.
That's really beautiful, and I think you're touching on it a little bit already, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts, about, all the division that our city and our country is experiencing these days, about how something like the events of Hispanic Heritage Month can help to heal and reconcile some of those divisions. And I know that's kind of a heavy question for a Monday morning.
It's a beautiful question. If you go back to what Pope Francis has said in The Joy of Love, he really breaks it all down. And I think it really starts within the family. If from moment of, you have a child or you're in the family, you embrace all cultures and you expose your young children. I have 7, and they're all Catholic school educated, high school, and some of them have chosen Catholic universities, to the different cultures. And if you're in one area where they're not exposed to, I really believe it's important to expose them outside of that. And that's one of the things my husband and I have always embraced. So, my children playing football or basketball, whatever they were at, traveling teams, we tried to make sure that they were exposed to the different cultures all around the city, the suburbs. So that way they have that exchange and you get to know someone and you get to be Christ to them on a personal level as you build that relationship. If you don't have those opportunities, you're not going to be able to embrace that. So it's important that from the beginning, we expose our young people, our students, to all cultures, no matter where they're at, because everything seems to be kind of compartmentalized in Chicago, it's kind of segregated sometimes. So you want to make sure that they have that opportunity. And I'll tell you one thing, the young people and the students are so much more embracing sometimes than the adults. So we have to really, give them credit for that.
Yeah.
So I think it really starts in just exposing everyone to the beauty of all cultures. And right now we're highlighting Hispanic Heritage Month, but it's whichever month we're celebrating.
And kiddos, they only know difference if you teach them difference, right? They love their friends because they love their friends. It isn't, color-based. And so I think sometimes those things are so important. And if we're able to look at the world in the eyes of a child, I think you gain so much. And I think that's really special. I commend you for all the work that you're doing over at Our Lady of the Snows. If they're interested in getting more information about the work that you're doing or interested about finding more, information about your school and parish, how do they get in contact with you?
Well, they can either call the school, the parish, and at the school number. I usually give out my cell number because, I'm all over the place and I just contact me personally. But they for sure can contact the parish, and I apologize, but I don't know that number right offhand. But if they could always look it up and just kind of find us. And one of the other beautiful things I want to talk about Our Lady of the Snows is that since I do the youth ministry part and the school part, the marketing part, we're like united. School and parish. I've really, Father has embraced that. The new principal has embraced that, and we work hand in hand to make things happen there. So anything that happens there, it really is a togetherness between both of them. It's unity there, and we do also have a large Polish culture there too. So it's like the diversity, the inclusive. I really commend Erica and all the work she's doing, but I look at her more as an inclusive person because she includes everyone, and
Well,
she wants to learn
Miss
that collaborativeness, you know.
Right.
So,
and Miss Cookie,
I
we're
think
so
that's really important.
We are so thankful for you spending the morning with us. We want to thank all of you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Remember, you can share this program by copying our YouTube link to your social media or email accounts. The program comes on your way weekly here on WNDZ Radio 750 and our Facebook page and our Archdiocese of Chicago YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. We look forward to being with you on Catholic Schools Today next month. See you soon.
Join us every Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.